Good day everybody, my name is Pride. I'm going to be showing you how to perform an attack on a Windows 7 machine from a Kali Linux in this educational tutorial video. So there are a few things that you need. You need your Kali Linux, which is the attacking machine, and your Windows 7, which is the machine that is going to be attacked. In this tutorial, we're going to be using a Windows 7 Pro 32-bit operating system on this Windows 7. So the Windows 7 Professional with a Service Pack 1 installed on it, and we also have our firewall disabled on this machine for this particular tutorial. Then we've got our Kali Linux. We need our Kali Linux to be fully up to date, and you also need to have an application called Wine installed on the Kali Linux machine. Wine is an application that enables you to run Windows application on Linux box. It's just a Windows emulator on top of Linux, which would be handy in this tutorial. So let's get started. There are a few things that we need to know. The IP address of our attacking machine, which is the Linux machine. So if we go if config, you'll be able to see the IP address 192.168.163.131. Then on our Windows machine, if you type in cmd in your search, then IP config, we can see our IP address is 192.168.163.128. So let's dive straight into it. So I'm going to start our metasploit framework. The metasploit framework is an tool that is used when you're performing such an attack. It's got a database of exploit that can be used to perform an attack. So I'm going to get it started. It is installed by default on our Kali Linux operating system. So you enable it by typing msf console. So it's starting now. We wait for it to complete the startup. There we go. Our metasploit has started. So we are going to use an exploit called Eternal Blue, but Eternal Blue is not really installed by default on Kali Linux. It's something that you need to download, which I can also share on how to do that later on. But for the purposes of our tutorial, I'm just going to get down into it. So we go use exploit, and the operating system that we're going to be exploiting, which is Windows, and the protocol SMB protocol, and our exploit, which is Eternal Blue-Doublepulsar. There we go. Then we set our localhost, which is the machine that is performing the attack with an IP 192.168.163.131. Then we set the remote host that we are going to be performing an attack on 192.168.163.128. Then we're going to set our process injection, which is spool sv.exe. This is the process that is going to be injected to our Windows 7 machine for the purposes of a backdoor communication to it. Then we are going to set our payload, which is Windows metasploit bind TCP. Please note the number of payloads that you can use within Eternal Blue, but this is one of the payloads that I personally prefer. So once we have set all our perimeters, we can then run the exploit. So the exploit is now running. There we go, we are in. So once you see a metasploit session saying one is opened, this is the channel of communication that we are going to be using to communicate with that machine that we have performed an exploit on. So once you see this metasploit there, it means that you are successfully into that machine. But at this present moment, there isn't much that we can do. What we need to now do is maybe add an account, elevate privileges on it, then maybe connect to the machine and do whatever we would want to do with the machine that which we would have attacked. So I'm going to go to our Windows 7 machine. As you can see, if we go to control panel, currently user accounts, manage user accounts, we've got only pride and guest, which is currently turned off. So we need to add one of our own accounts, elevate privileges on it, then possibly we can do whatever we want with that particular account. So in this case, I'm going to go back to our metasploit. We can also check by typing at sysinfo to make sure that we are in. So our sysinfo is showing us the computer name, which is the computer name for the Windows 7 machine that we have attacked, the operating system running there. That's Windows 7, suspect 1, which we have confirmed at the beginning of this tutorial, and it's running a 32-bit operating system. So once you've got that information, it's good for you to know that you're 100% sure in. Then you can type in shell under your metasploit shell, which is like the command line interface on the Windows 7 machine that we have attacked. In there, you can now add user. So now we're going to go and add a user called Joshua. So you type in net user Joshua, Joshua, and the password pass123, then /add. You can see our user has been completely successfully added to that Windows 7 machine. So we can verify that by going to the Windows 7 machine, control panel, user accounts, then manage accounts. We can now see that we now have our Joshua standard user, which was previously not there, but we need Joshua to have administrator rights on this particular machine. So we go back to the Kali Linux attacking machine. We then need to elevate the privileges for Joshua. So you do net local group administrators Joshua /add. You can see that was successful. So if we go back to our Windows 7 machine, we can see that Joshua is still standard. We just need to refresh. Okay, it's not refreshing. We just go back, manage accounts. We can now see that our Joshua is now an administrator to that particular account, which is very good for us. So I'm just going to log off from this particular user. Then we go back to our Linux attacking machine. So we now have Joshua added to Windows 7. To our Windows 7 machine, we have also elevated these privileges. So what can we do? We can now do what we call a remote desktop connection to that particular Windows 7 machine from our Kali Linux, which has attacked the Windows 7 machine. So you do ara desktop -u, then Joshua 192.168, then the IP address of the machine that we have attacked, 192.168.163.128. There we go, and boom, we're in. So you just go to Joshua and type in the password that we have used when we were creating this account, which is pass 123, and there we are in from our Kali Linux machine. In there you can now drive the Windows 7 machine, you can copy files, transfer files from it. So that's basically it. I hope this video has been informative to you. Please note, this is an educational video. Thank you very much for watching.